and welcome to this new travelmentary. This time you're going to see a flight from Vigo in northern Spain to Barcelona. And I'm doing that trip on a Spanish LCC called Vueling. As always, I made a little animation summarizing the main facts of this trip. So overall we need approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes until arrival for an airline distance of 555 miles. The aircraft that Vueling used was an Airbus A320-200. Okay, so my trip starts at the train station of Vigo, and I actually intended to go from there to the airport by bus. But that didn't work out because I was a little bit late, so I just took a cab.
Hola señor, ¿cuánto cuesta ir al aeropuerto?
Sobre 18, entre 18 y 20.
The airport is located round about 12 kilometers from the train station, so you need roughly 10 to 15 minutes by car. Alright, that's the airport, and as the weather wasn't good, I rushed into the terminal building. Now Vigo is a city of approximately 295,000 people, and the airport is not exactly a hub, and there aren't many flights going from here. In 2018 it handled just a bit over 1.2 million passengers. Compared to the big airports in Spain, that's a quite small airport. The largest one is Madrid-Barajas, followed by Barcelona-El Prat. In 2018 it had to deal with over 50 million passengers. Vigo holds the 23rd position nationwide. The terminal building appears very basic. There's not much to do here, but it's clean and there's no chaos. On the screen you see what I told you earlier. There aren't many flights departing from here, and if let's say you need to quit the country in a hurry, that would be difficult to achieve. At least you can go to Madrid several times per day. Usually I'm looking for a lounge after check-in and security. Not this time though. In this case I just bought myself a coffee and something to eat in the cafe right next to the gate. Again, I have a community question. Do you like to fly from small airports? Or do you prefer the major airline hubs? Let me know your view in the comment section below. Personally, I like small airports, although they may not have all the amenities that one might know from Amsterdam, Zurich or London Heathrow. But the distances are shorter and there is generally less hassle around the trip, just to mention a few advantages. Anyway, I have reached the small coffee shop that I mentioned before.
Hola, buenos días. Un café con leche, por favor, y con azúcar.
It's certainly not breathtaking in what it offers, but I guess it's okay to get some coffee. This is what I bought, and you have a nice view from up here to the part of the terminal building where I was before. Maybe you ask yourself what kind of fare I booked, so let's go into the specifics of this trip. I bought a one-way ticket in a rate called Optima. That gives me the right to select a seat, but no ticket flexibility. Baggage is included too, as well as an instant boarding pass. But that's pretty much all there is to say about it. Altogether, the trip cost €93.99. The weather outside is rainy and foggy, not the best conditions to do some aerial sightseeing. Okay, boarding has started and they actually enforce the rules, and that's a good thing.
Hola.
Well, as I'm boarding the plane, allow me to tell you that you also find me on Instagram and Twitter under the same name, Travelmentary TV. Please consider following me there as well. I share some stuff about my trips and the editing process of my videos. Today's flight is operated by an Airbus A320-200. It has 188 seats and is the workhorse in the product portfolio of Airbus. By the way, Airbus is a truly multinational European effort, and even today 26.3% of the shares are held by the governments of France, Germany and Spain. The catalog price of such an airliner is slightly above $100 million, but rumor has it that airlines get very significant discounts. Okay, so once I've boarded the plane, you will be able to see that there are different seats. The dark ones are Space Plus seats, and yes, they do cost extra. Depending on the route, you have to pay an additional €14 or even more. I just selected a standard seat that came with my Optima rate. The seat itself is okay, legroom is poor though. But it's a short flight and I think I'm able to get along with that. At least nobody could complain about my manspreading. The seats next to me remain free. By the way, below the seat you can charge your electronic devices. Besides that, you can also recognize that this aircraft could use some thorough cleaning, but I will come back to that aspect later. For now, let me show you the safety card. I mean, there's nothing surprising on this aircraft, but I also have to say that it doesn't differ much from the economy class product of the traditional airlines. This magazine shows what you can buy on board, everything from food to fragrances. And I believe onboard sales are one of the ways these no-frills airlines intend to make money. Ancillary revenue is the keyword here, and that means sales apart from the ticket. That can be food sold on board, such as this burger, but also stuff like hotels and rental cars. From Ryanair's annual report, I know that those ancillary revenues accounted for 32% of their total operating revenues in 2019. Maybe it helps to better understand what that means when I tell you that the ancillary revenue per booked passenger was €17.15. That's an impressive number, and I think all low-cost carriers try to boost their business by maximizing it. The weather has not improved at all, so unfortunately there will be no aerial sightseeing possible during takeoff. Now it's time for the taxi animation. The interesting thing is that we will taxi on the runway to the very end of it, then we make a turn, after which we're going to be ready for takeoff. Here we are performing that turn so that we can take off in the opposite direction. Let's enjoy the takeoff and the sound of the engines. Therefore, I'll be quiet for the following 45 seconds. Okay, I'm back again, and I would like to talk a bit more about this airline, about Vueling. Vueling belongs to IAG, the International Airlines Group, which is the parent company of various airlines, including British Airways, Iberia, and Aer Lingus, just to name a few. An interesting fact is that Qatar Airways owns 25.1% of IAG. As far as Vueling is concerned, that airline operates over 100 planes, all of which come from the A320 family. In 2018, they had a passenger load factor of 84.4%, less than Ryanair with 95% in the same year. Nevertheless, Vueling has followed an aggressive expansion strategy, and that's reflected in their turnover. However, that tiny little health problem the world faces at this moment will certainly affect those numbers. And talking of health problems, let me show you the tray table. It's so filthy that it gives your immune system a nice opportunity to produce antibodies against all kinds of antigens. What I want to say is that I was disgusted and took my hand sanitizer. By the way, this video was recorded long before the recent events unfolded. Well, I decided to use the tray table of the seat next to mine. I bought the sweet menu consisting of a sugar waffle and a cup of tea. The cost of that? €4.50. Not cheap, but as I said, that is how those airlines earn their money. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's do the traditional lavatory check. Okay, the pilot started the descent into Barcelona-El Prat airport. The weather conditions here are very good, and therefore let's do some aerial sightseeing using my 3D landmarks for better orientation. You can see a very interesting structure, the Circuit de Catalunya, a motorsport racetrack. Among other events, it hosts the Formula 1. In this scene, we are above a little municipality in Catalonia. It's kind of a dormitory town of Barcelona. You can recognize the beach as well as some greenhouses. But let me show you our location on the map. We're right next to the Mediterranean coast, and from here we'll fly above the sea, where we will align with the runway. At this moment we're probably something between 10 and 15 miles away from the runway. Let me show you another animation explaining our landing. Here at Barcelona-El Prat we're going to use runway 25 right, the longest of the three at this airport. As we're landing, we're passing the port of Barcelona, the third largest in Spain and the ninth largest in Europe. They have a rail line there and all kinds of logistics-related companies around it. I want to express a big massive thank you for supporting my small channel. We all know what's going on across the globe right now. It's a hard time for a lot of people, not only because of the medical dimension of this crisis, but also because of the economic consequences. And I wondered whether that's the right time to release travel videos. I was kind of uncomfortable with it, and so I decided to ask my viewership in a community survey. So far, the results give me confidence to continue uploading these travelmentaries. At this moment, when the video is uploaded, it's probably not a good idea to travel for fun. In fact, it's not a good idea to travel at all, because flattening the curve is the #1 priority. Once the situation is solved, and it will be solved, we will all enjoy traveling again, and hopefully we will appreciate it much more than ever before. Okay, we have landed in Barcelona and now we just have to taxi to our terminal, which is T1.
A partir de este momento, los teléfonos móviles y los dispositivos electrónicos pueden utilizarse sin restricciones.
Time for a short evaluation. I would say Vueling got the job done. The flight was on time, but of course it's a very basic flight experience that you can enhance by booking a seat with more legroom, for example. One thing I have to mention again is that the tray table was dirty, and I really hate that sort of things. The minimum that any airline should provide is a safe flight and a clean plane. That's actually a part of safety. Well, that's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Thank you for tuning in and have a great day wherever you're watching.